myself every single day. I become a little bit more self-obsessed. Every single day that I spend with myself, I become more self-obsessed with Braille. And I suggest you also become self-obsessed with yourself. But let's talk about nice guys. One of the things about nice guys that I have learned is that men who identify themselves as nice guy immediately should have a red flag. You know why? Because men who are self-aware do not identify themselves as nice guys. What I found out, or basically figured out with experience in time, is that it is a big difference from a man saying he is a nice guy versus actually being a nice guy. And one of the things, y'all know I love my research. I love information. I love looking things up. I don't just get up here and start just wagging my gums, okay? I really like to actually come from a space of experience, research, and information that's going to be able to help women be able to win out here, because out here, if you don't have the correct information, your journey is going to be a lot more difficult than it has to be. So let's talk about nice guys and the red flags that will attach themselves to that proclaimed or that guy that says he's a nice guy. One of the things that I like to do to identify that if this man is as really as nice as he claims, is he able to describe himself well? Now let me explain that, because it's a little deeper than actually thinking of descriptions or descriptors of yourself and going and running with it. Research has taught us, if you are a research head like I am, raise your hand, raise your hand. One of the things I have learned, that if a person is able to easily describe themselves and they come up with common descriptors, which there are common descriptors that most people use in order to describe themselves, friendly, thoughtful, open, these are all red flags. And the reason for that is when a person has become an expert of themselves, it takes time for them to really come up with a descriptor of how to describe themselves. This is research. And this is the reason why I love research, because it pinpoints and gives insight into human nature. And y'all know, I don't truly believe that you can actually get to the levels in life that you need to get without understanding human nature, without having a little bit of a psychology background, without being feminine, understanding men and women and their natures. So that is what I focus on. So we're going to get back to talking about nice guys. So when you get around a nice guy and you ask him, describe yourself in 3 words or less, and he uses common descriptors that most people use, this means this man is not an expert of himself. This means maybe he hadn't had time to really think about himself. And you don't want a man who hasn't had time to really reflect and really sit with himself to get to know what type of man he is. This is the reason why some of you all are dating confused people. He's very confused because he hasn't had time with himself to actually understand what type of man he is, what type of lifestyle he's trying to obtain, who he truly is as a person. And this is way to kind of start weeding out these men who proclaim or say that they are nice guys. Another thing that nice guys who proclaim themselves to be nice guys, guys who are nice, if you want to use that terminology, because I don't like the word nice. I don't know any man that's worth his salt that actually refers to himself as a nice guy. Usually men don't refer to themselves as a nice guy because they have put away teenage verbiage long ago. So when they are asked to describe themselves, they don't use nice guy, period, point blank. But nice guys who proclaim themselves to be nice guys do not use manipulation. And one of the things that I keep seeing is men constantly saying that they are nice guys. See, the guys who are actually nice do not use manipulation. They do not use or say things like, you're going to die alone and get a dog. That is manipulation. It is fear. It is a way to make a woman feel like she has to take the next thing coming or she's going to be alone. That is manipulation at its finest. And it kind of blows my mind that women are falling for it because it's manipulation. Guys who are really nice do not use guilt trap questions. They will never ask you what you bring to the table. That is a guilt trap question. That is a question for you to feel as though you have to defend yourself. You have to figure out what value you bring to a relationship. What worth do you have? And it's guilt trap. If you haven't watched my video about guilt trap questions, go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, subscribe. You're missing out on a treat if you're not subscribed over there. A lot of my content is not on Instagram. It is on YouTube. But nice guys who are truly nice, they do not move the goalposts. They do not constantly say, oh, well, we'll figure out what we're doing in a couple of months. Nice guys who are truly nice do not move the goalposts. They will not wait until you get that couple of months and then decide, oh, well, I need some more time. I don't know yet. Men who are nice, like I said, I don't like that way to describe a man because I've never met a man that was worth his salt that would actually describe himself as a nice guy in the first place. But a man who is truly nice would not move the goalposts. He would absolutely state his intentions. He will let you know where's the relationship going. Either it's going nowhere or it's going somewhere. He's going to let you know. He will absolutely let you know if, look, I'm not ready for a relationship, but I still want to date you. That is absolutely letting you know, even though you may not like what he said, he's still letting you know his intentions. And that is what a man truly does. Now, the men who absolutely operate as a nice guy and they're still in teenage land, they still have that teenage mentality. They will try to move the goalposts. They will try to tell you, oh, we'll figure it out in a couple of months. And then when that couple of months come up, they're going to move the goalposts again. And they're going to need more time. So you have to recognize when you're dealing with a man or you're dealing with a nice guy who has a teenage mindset, who haven't even grown past high school. Because some of you, that is what you're dealing with currently. Nice guys who are truly nice do things without strings attached. They do not decide to give you a ring because they want appreciation. They do not want you to reciprocate their energy because they gave you. If they give you something, they're not expecting something back. Men who are truly nice don't operate in that manner. Men who are truly nice do not even use gifts, love, and attention to seek forgiveness. Men who are men worth their salt, they will absolutely understand that they may give a gift, but doesn't mean they're going to get anything back. They may give energy, doesn't mean they're going to get anything back. They may seek forgiveness, but they may know that even if they think they deserve forgiveness or they want forgiveness, they're not going to hold it against you if they don't give forgiveness. They understand that. Nice guys who are really nice don't use passive aggressiveness. They're not passive aggressive. If you don't know what passive aggressive is where you say one thing, but you mean another. Or if you handle conflict by being the victim, or you avoid conflict. Nice guys who are really nice are not scared of conflict. They are not scared of conflict. They may not immediately run towards it or create it, but they're not scared to handle it. They're not scared to deal with it. They're not like these proclaimed nice guys who say they are nice, but as soon as a situation come up, they don't mind victim blaming. They don't mind running from that conflict and instead of actually standing tall and dealing with it. See, men who are worth their salt do not refer to themselves as nice guys. They don't describe themselves as nice guys. They absolutely have an understanding and understand who they are, so they would never use that teenage vernacular in the first place. Nice guys who are really nice don't stand on just basic kindness. They don't think that they're superior to other men for basic kindness. They don't think they're superior to other men just because they have good manners. or just because they're respectful to others, or just because they understand right from wrong, or just because they're honest. The reason why some of the nice guys who proclaim to be nice guys, who say they are nice guys, are able to move as such and keep that idea that they're nice guys, it is because a lot of women's standards are basing in hell. Some women's standards are basing in hell currently. So some women will accept that a man just having basic kindness or basic human decency, that is enough. See, men understand that even if I have good manners, that is not enough. That is not enough to actually make myself believe that I'm superior to other men who have more than just basic manners, who are able to be respectful to others, who are honest, who understand right from wrong. We have to actually raise our standards. The standards currently right now they're basing in hell. Some women's standards are basing somewhere in hell because they are only focused on a man who understands values, morals, honesty, respect, having manners, just doing the minimum in order to be in a relationship. Now, nice guys who are really nice aren't trying to hang around just to get in your pants. And this right here is going to hurt a little bit of feelings, but y'all know it wouldn't be me if I didn't do a little bit of that, okay? It wouldn't be me if I didn't do just a little bit of that. But nice guys who are truly nice, they do not hang around to get in your pants. They don't stay around just to be friend zones. Men that understand the assignment, understand who they are, have a self-awareness of being a man and worth their salt at being a man, they don't stay around and wait around to get in your pants. They absolutely do move on. They actually do move around. They might come back now, but they don't stay around waiting and painting after you. Men that understand their own value and their own worth, and you want those type of men. I know it sounds wonderful to have men who don't understand their value, who don't understand their worth, men that you can control, that men you can tell them and create their value system for them. But doing that, you're gonna reap the not even benefits. You're gonna understand that having that type of man is gonna be the downfall of you as a woman. Men who understand themselves and are self-aware and are worth their salt, are worth their weight in gold, they will not allow themselves to be friend zoned. This means they're going to move around from you. They're not going to wait around to see when you're going to fall in love with them. They're not going to wait around to see when you're going to give them a chance. Baby, they're going to be out there. They're going to move around. They're going to move around. And yes, they may come back and check to see what's going on over there, but they're not going to wait around. The nice guys, these proclaimed nice guys, the guys that say they're nice, they're going to wait around in the friend zone. And baby, let me tell you, I feel for the women who actually go along with that, because you're going to learn the hard way of that man waiting in the friend zone. You're going to learn the hard way that that was on the representative. You're going to learn the hard way. So don't fall for it. And I'm currently waiting on the research about marriages that started from the friend zone. When I get it, y'all will be the first ones that I will let you know about it. But I'm quite sure what I've seen over the years in relationships, I've never seen those relationships work. I've never seen them work. So I don't have any really good thing to say about it. And I've never seen men who work their salt actually wait. Now, like I said, they might move around, they might come back, but they do not sit here and wait like a puppy at your feet, waiting to be loved. That is not a man worth his salt. Usually that man that does that, what I have seen, usually they harbor a lot of anger towards you. And then when they get you, they start to mistreat you, because then they're looking at you. See, they think they are a nice guy, even though they're not. They think they're a nice guy. They proclaim themselves to be a nice guy. They identify with a nice guy. See, their script says that they're a nice guy, but their actions say other. And that is one of the things that we have to realize. When men identify themselves as a nice guy, you need to realize that's a red flag, because grown men are not running around with that idea anymore. if they are over the age of 18 and they're no longer in high school, they no longer identify themselves as a nice guy. And usually they're not. They're not nice guys. They're not nice guys. And you'll learn the hard way once you give them a chance. Nice guys who are really nice don't shame you for saying no. Nice guys that are really nice do not shame you for saying no. They don't try to say, well, oh, I just paid $300 for this dinner, and try to shame you into sleeping with them. They don't try to manipulate you. They don't try to get you to go to your home, go to their house, go to your home, or to your home, their home, whichever one they're trying to manipulate you into going, just because they did something for you. Nice guys do not try to shame you when you say no. But boys who still identify themselves as nice guys, because remember, if a man is still running around over the age of 18, still identifying and proclaiming and saying he's a nice guy, a lot of times they are not. A lot of times they have not grown past the high school version of themselves, and they're still operating as such. So be very wary of a man who says he's a nice guy. When you ask a man to describe himself and he says nice guy, or he really doesn't think about what he's saying, pay attention to that. That's a red flag. The reason you should do that is because it has been researched. You know, my research, right? It has been researched that when a person has to take time to really think about who they are, if you were to tell them to describe themselves and they have to really think about it, you're like, do they know who they are? That ain't it, sis. Really, it is because they have become an expert of who they are that they really they don't have the words for it. It takes some time for them to really process it. But if they actually splurt out something really fast, they're like, oh, I'm a nice guy. I'm thoughtful. I'm careful. I'm all these things. And they're really just spouting that information out really at you really fast. And then you're looking at them. You're sitting across from them. You realize they ain't even thinking about what they're saying. It is because what they're saying is not the truth. This is research. People who actually sit back and take time to really think about how to describe themselves, it is because they are expert on themselves and they don't have the words, but they will give you the words. They'll give you the words to describe themselves eventually. They might have to take some time with that question. And you're looking for common descriptors too. You're looking for them to use like friendly, thoughtful, and open. Those are common descriptors that most people use, but guess what? Research has actually proven that they're not those things. They're actually giving you those descriptors because it sounds good. It makes people open up when they hear those things, because a lot of people really don't do their research or their vetting or their testing or their observing on how a person really carries himself. And that is important, ladies. All right, so nice guys do not refer to themselves as nice guys. Any man that I've found with experience and over time, any man that is worth their salt normally does not refer to themselves as a nice guy. Normally it takes them some time to describe themselves. So if you would ask them, say, hey, give me three things to describe yourself, it would take that person some time to actually describe themselves. But if they actually start blurting and spouting out something really quickly, they don't know. They're lying to you. They haven't really thought about who they are. They're not an expert of themselves. And it's truly, you want men who have actually thought about, what type of man am I? What do I bring to the world? What am I trying to accomplish? You want a man who's a thinking man, a man who's aware, a man who wants to be and operate as a man, not the men who are proclaimed, who say they're nice guys, but they truly aren't. Nice guys don't use manipulation. They don't tell you you're gonna, if you don't get a man current right now, you're gonna die alone. Nice guys don't do that. Nice guys do not, hide their intentions. They don't lie to you about their intentions. Maybe you might not like what you heard. Okay, you might not like that he was man enough to step to you and tell you that he didn't want a relationship. He just want to sleep with you. He just want to get them draws. He just want to hit it and quit it. But baby, at least he was truthful. Even if he is telling you directly, it's still truth. And that's what you want. You want a man to tell you his intentions. Men who are worth their salt, they're worth their weight in gold, they will tell you their intention. They will tell you, I just want to sleep with you. Don't want nothing else. Don't get any ideas either. A man who is worth his salt, who's really a man, he is not going to allow you to friend zone him. Even if he may double back, even if he may have to move you around, he's not going to stay there like a little puppy at your feet, painting after you and doing what he can to get your attention. He's going to be still out there dating, doing his thing. He may double back to find out how you're doing, how you change your mind, but he's not going to be friend zone. A man who worked this out, he's going to be surrounded by other men. He is not just going to have a whole bunch of groups of females and be surrounded by a whole bunch of females. A lot of times men who are surrounded by females, a lot of times they don't like men because they ain't men. And since they ain't men, they haven't passed the vibe test. A lot of men absolutely decide they're not going to hang around that man. So pay attention to a man who has nothing but a bunch of females surrounding him. A lot of times that's because a lot of men don't like them. Okay, a man don't like him, and you should pay attention to other men don't like him because that's a good reason for that. Usually, he doesn't pass the vibe test with other men. This means maybe he's not trustworthy. Men see that and they decide they don't want to hang around him. Maybe he's a liar. They see that and they don't want to hang around him. Maybe he's a dog or a cheat. They see that and they don't want to hang around him. So pay attention to men who have nothing but a whole bunch of girls in their circle. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why other men don't like him. There's a reason why other men don't want to have nothing to do with it. Pay attention to him. Usually a dog can sense another dog. So if you are sitting here being in a relationship with a man who don't have any real guy friends, you need to pay attention to that. If all he hang around is a whole bunch of girls and the only thing you can think of, oh, he a hoe. Baby, there's more to it. There's more to the story, and you're not paying attention. Men understand that they're their own emotional center. Nice guys, proclaimed nice guys who say they're nice guys, they will make a woman their emotional center. If you don't know what an emotional center is when you're happy, he's happy. Okay? When you're sad, he's sad. Okay, a man that is worth his salt has his own emotional center. He is not dependent on my emotions, which is also very draining to be in a relationship with a man that if you're sad, he's sad. This means that he doesn't have his own emotional center, and that can be overwhelming. That can be draining. That means you hold the entire space of being the emotional center for an entire relationship, which also indicates you know how up and down women can be? Imagine that. Imagine a relationship where you are the emotional center of the relationship, since he doesn't have his own emotional center because he's not a man. And since he's not a man, he's a teenage boy. He is not went any further than teenagehood. You are that emotional center. So anything that happens in your life, you have to maintain an emotional center. That means you have to always be centered. This means you can never flex your femininity. It's going to be a hard path, a hard journey for you to be in that type of relationship. It may sound good for some of you. They don't have a very good understanding of relationships and men and women and how there's supposed to be a separation and how we are different. It may sound good to some of you, but being with a man that does not have emotional center is it's going to be an up and down journey. It's going to not be a relationship you're going to want to be in. A man has to have his own emotional center. You do not want to be with a self-proclaimed nice guy. Nice guys don't have a emotional center. You are it. So if you're having a bad day, you are PMSing, you're just, women just have days where they just wake up and they don't feel well. This means instead of him trying to make you feel better, he don't feel good. Then guess what? Then comes in the competition of who feels worse, because that's what nice guys do. Since they're operating in their feminine energy and they're mostly a woman themselves, they're going to compete with you about who feels worse, who feels bad, who's feeling and whose feelings we should focus on. I don't want to be in a relationship where you're not focusing on my feelings because we have to focus on yours and I have to actually be the emotional center. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I don't want to be the emotional center. I want to be able to feel. I want to be able to be happy. I want to be able to be sad. I want to be surprised. I want to have all of the feelings. I want to run the entire gamut of feelings and not be the emotional center of the relationship. I don't want to take you down with my emotions. Unless I'm trying to manipulate you, but that's a whole nother lie. We ain't there right now. But remember, nice guys You should be wary of a man who refers or identifies or proclaims that he's a nice guy. Most of the time, they're not nice guys. Most of the time, they're not nice guys. Most of the time, the reason why that they're not able to date like the men that they compare themselves to is because they rely on manipulation. They also rely on moving the goalposts. They rely on reciprocating the energy. They rely on them doing something for you and you doing something for them. They rely on appreciation. They rely on forgiveness. They rely on these things instead of being a man worth their salt. Men worth their salt don't refer to themselves as being a nice guy. They don't. They don't describe themselves as a nice guy. And that's one of the things that interested me when I was dating. When I was dating, I met my husband. What interested me, he never said he was a nice guy. I asked him that typical question because it's a typical question that most women ask a man. Do you consider yourself a nice guy? And what interested me was he didn't consider himself a nice guy. And I was like, that's something new. At the time, I was young, so I didn't really think about, what it meant then. It just intrigued me and interested me, that he didn't consider himself to be a nice guy. And especially when other guys were like, that's the first thing we say. That's the first thing he would say. I'm a nice guy. You should give me a chance. You should give me an opportunity. I'm a nice guy. You shouldn't give all these other guys a chance because I'm a nice guy. I do this and that other for women. And he wasn't like that. He didn't sit here and brag about all the things he did for women. He didn't brag about all the things he could offer me. And I found that very intriguing. I wanted to I was already dating rotationally anyway. So I was like, what could it harm anything for me to go out with this guy who didn't really say he was a nice guy? He didn't, he answered the questions, but he really didn't go into detail. He wasn't over talkative. He wasn't trying to bring up everything to try to impress me. He is one of the things I've learned is, and I'm going to leave you all and get ready to get off this because I'm trying to do shorter live streams nowadays. But one of the things that I've learned from being in a 21-year marriage is that a person who proclaims or says they are this aren't. The person who actually shows you that who they are. The people who don't constantly have to get on their soapbox or seek attention always say, hey, I'm a masculine man. I'm an alpha. I am a good guy. I can give you this, that, and other. They usually can't give you those things. People who just are low key, are silent, who are better about just being what they say, what they aren't saying. Those are the people you need to give more attention to. People who are shouting from their soapbox that they are this, they aren't. People who are just doing it quietly behind the scenes and showing you that they are what they say they are. That is all that's needed. I've learned I don't listen to loudmouths. I don't listen to people who say, well, I just do this. I just get to the bag. I don't listen to any of that. I really just pay attention to your actions. I want you to show me that you are what you say you are. And honestly, you've already maybe raised my little antennas if you are saying it, because I've learned over years that the loudest voice who want to shout from the mountaintops that they're good people, nice people, they aren't. Who want to shout to the mountaintops that they'll take care of you, they'll provide for you, they're great lovers, they aren't. Those people who don't realize that all you have to do is be it. That's all you have to be. All you have to do is be it. Less communication, less talking, just be exactly what you're trying to be, and I'll recognize you for what you are. And that is all. It is very simple. Even when I get around women and see the new buzz term is femininity, it's feminine woman, all of these new buzz terms are out here. I don't pay attention to the buzz terms anymore because I've learned over, my lifetime that what they are is going to come to the forefront. What they're talking about is usually the representative. And you'll learn just by observing people. Observe how they talk, how they walk, what they're talking about. Just like wealth is silent, masculinity is too. It's not loud. It's not abrasive. It's not aggressive. It is silent. It moves silently. It conquers silently. It proves silently. So all of these others, you don't have to pay attention to it. So the red flags that nice guys give, self-proclaimed nice guys who say they're nice guys, I would pay attention to if they even use that terminology. Because men who worth their salt, they don't have to do a lot of talking. People know when they're in the presence of a man by the way he moves, the way he talks, and the way he handles his business. But when you don't have anything to offer, you're going to be loud. You're going to be overbearing. You're going to be aggressive. You're going to let everybody know that comes in your presence because you want them to get hooked before they recognize what they're dealing with. That is the reason why you constantly proclaim yourself to be a nice guy. Why not be that? And the more I watch on social media, I can see all of the red flags of nice guys. I can see all of the red flags of nice guys because nice guys who are actually nice, who are actually men that are worth their salt, don't manipulate. They don't move the goalposts. They don't mind giving without taking. They are truthful in their intentions. They don't have to resort to passive aggressive moves or actions. So that is one of the things that I have learned is that if you watch or observe, test, vet long enough, you'll figure out who you're dealing with. And that goes with men or women. Stop listening to what they're saying and start looking at what they're doing. And you'll be able to identify the nice guys very easily and the guys who are just nice. All right, so we're going to answer a little bit of questions, then we get off so I can go to lunch because I have a lot to get done today. Okay, y'all, let me go. I'm trying to get to the top when I start looking at the what people are saying. I love the topic. They're only nice to get women to get what they want. They are some of the most toxic men are very entitled. Absolutely. Absolutely. It won't take you long to realize that this nice guy isn't nice and he isn't worth his salt as a man. Hello, babe. How you doing? Please put on YouTube. Don't worry. Y'all know all my content does not be on Instagram. My content will always go to YouTube. So I do have a YouTube channel. Take the time to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, Pedestal Wives, for being in the house. I see you. You know I know every username, every profile, all of my Pedestal Wives that support the community and support me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. LOL, what feelings are you really? Not mine. Please continue and explain. Absolutely. When you're dealing with a nice guy, they don't have an emotional center. They don't have an emotional center. And since me being a married woman myself, I usually hang around other married couples. And I've actually watched, probably a good 3 to 4 divorces. I would say 3 divorces because the 4th one I moved away, so I didn't get to see the results of it. But I noticed some things in the relationship. I noticed their interactions as a couple. And one of the things I realized is if when you're dealing with certain guys that don't have an emotional center, you are it. And it means you can't really be in your feminine. You can't really be. If you have to be emotional centered, this means you have to be neutral. You can't really feel. Because if you do and you really feel, and then he feels that way, y'all are not going to really be able to progress and move forward as a couple. It's always going to play havoc in your relationship. So the emotional center is very important. You don't want a man that if you're sad, he plays into that and makes it worse. Or he makes it competitive where who's more sad, you or me? That is the reason why it's important that we stop and start shunning these nice guys. Because the guys that don't have any emotional control, no kind of emotional center, they're not men worth their salt. They're going to cause more harm than good in a relationship. Oh my God, yes, they want you to punish you low key. Absolutely. And this is the reason why I don't support, well, I ain't gonna say support, because I can't control what people do. I just like to give information. I just like to make sure women are aware of what you need to be aware of. That's what I do. But there's no way in the world I would suggest that a woman gives the friend zone guy a chance. Even if you were gonna, you have other motives to being with him, don't marry him. Don't marry him, because low key, he will punish you. He will punish you for you not choosing him first. He will punish you for not giving him the time that he feels like he deserves from you. He will punish you for you overlooking him and going with the other guy. Men won't stay around or hang around. And that is something women are going to have to do. You're going to deal with the guy that you think is going to hang around. He not. Men are worth their salt. They understand their own value. They're not hanging around, baby. They might move around and double back, but they're not hanging around. They're not going to hang around and paint after you and try to get your attention and try to make you jealous and try to do things to get you to date them, because these are men who understand their worth. And I implore you, date men who understand their worth, because if they don't, a man will try to punish you for not understanding his worth. For him not understanding his worth, he will try to punish you for that. And you don't want to be on the other end of that. So this is the reason why I don't vouch for dating broken men or trauma men or men who don't have a self-aware of themselves as a man. Because those men will try to punish you because they're lost. They will try to punish you because they don't understand how to be a man. They will punish you because they're trying to figure themselves out. You don't want to be in that relationship. Some women will be like, yeah, sign me up. I can mold him. I can teach him. I can change him. I'm a ride or die. Baby, you're going to ride or die off a cliff. You're going to ride or die off a cliff. Don't do it. Don't you realize there's a reason that women are no longer being ride or dies? Because the ride or dies before us, they look back, they said, sis, don't do it. That's what they did. The ride or dies before us. They learned their lessons. They jumped off a cliff for a man. They gave up their being for a man. They lost their femininity for a man. They became a very good man. So when they did that, they looked back. They said, hey, don't do it. Y'all don't do it. It didn't work out so well. So there's no ride or dies here. There ain't no ride or dies here. Ain't no ride or die. I'm not no ride or die. And I don't suggest women be one. Because the ride or dies, I've already did it and they died. Okay? They died. They ain't here anymore. They made sure we knew better. They made sure they gave us the information, the sauce, the juice, to not to do that anymore. It didn't work out well for them, so they let us know. Just like if you're like me, my family is a family of women who got married. My grandmother got married. She advocated for marriage, but she learned a lesson and she taught me. See, women who love you, they're going to pass the information down. So her marriage wasn't exactly happy. Okay. It might've been prosperous. She might've got something out of it financially, but she taught me something along the way about marriages. She said to me, never go into a marriage where you love him more than he loves you. Why? You're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. The reason you're going to suffer, because you're going to give your all to him. You're going to overlook his flaws. You're going to give him chance after chance. Even if you're in a good marriage where it's financially beneficial to you, you're still going to suffer in the relationship because you love him so much. You're so attached. So she taught me to make sure that he's more in love with me than I am of him. And I questioned her years ago. Well, she's not here anymore. Okay. So I questioned her, like, why should I do that? She said, over time, after babies, over time, where you've been through some things, over time, where you built a lifestyle with them, over time, you will fall more and more in love with him. So it is better for him to love you more than for you to love him more. It doesn't work out well. So she taught me that because she loved my grandfather very much, very much. And her heart was broken throughout the relationship. So instead of her getting bitter and saying, don't ever get married, she didn't tell me that. She loved me a lot. She loved me more than she loved herself. She was a very giving woman. And she taught me that I should get married to a man who loved me more, because eventually I would love him. And eventually your love as a woman can exceed his. And since that could possibly happen after baby, after situation and experiences and life just happening, she said, just make sure he loves you more. And I took that to heart when I got married. Okay, I took that to heart when I got married. I paid attention to if I loved him more. And if I loved him more, I let him go. I let the guy go that I love more. And I'm glad I did. I'm actually happier here. Y'all, sorry. I'm happier here. Because over years, I started falling in love with him. Okay. But she also taught me another aspect of love for women. Another thing she taught me about love. Okay. She told me that it is better, even if you're going to fall in love, learn the difference between attachment and connection. And I was like, tell me more, grandmother, tell me, because she loved, I didn't call her, I call her, a lot of times I call her mama, my mother, because she raised me. So I didn't really say grandmother. I called her mother. Okay. But a lot of times one of the things she taught me is that even if you are in love and you start to fall in love with him, learn that love is not supposed to be attachment. The more you become attached, the more toxic it becomes. Because being attached to a person, it is almost as though you become that one person. It's almost as though you give up yourself and stop being self-focused, and you start identifying more with what they want, more with what they like, more with what they dislike. So she taught me the difference between attachment and connection. She said, the more you fall in love with him, make sure you stay connected. This means you connect to build that lifestyle. You connect to have babies. You connect to get through things in life, but you still make sure you stay separately and a separate energy and a separate entity. This means you still have your own lifestyle. You still have your own friends. You still have your own dreams and goals separately than the relationship. And she taught me that the difference between attachment and connection. She said that love with attachment becomes toxic. Love with connection grows and flourishes. And that is the thing that she taught me. And I've been teaching you all that. I've been passing on that information that she passed on to me, because the information that she gave me has allowed me to live my best life. I am able to have these conversations with you all because she taught me this way to have relationships, and it's been very beneficial. Relationships in the friend zone, music, Soul Child made a song about it. And on Girlfriends, remember Joan and William, it did not work. It don't work. I'm gonna stand on it. I know y'all gonna be like me. It does work. It worked for us. Baby, overall, it doesn't work. Like, we know sometimes stuff does work out, but we can't use that overall as we can't use that as the way to live life. If it's that one time, it don't happen one time. We're not gonna live that way. Yikes. Yes. Let's move on. Okay, so we're going to go quickly through the question, then we're going to go ahead and get off of here. Would you cut off someone if they answer yes to being a nice guy? Honestly, the woman I am now, yes, I absolutely would cut them off. I would. For what I know, I would go off of what I know experience-wise versus feelings. So, yes, I would absolutely cut them off for saying that they're a nice guy. But you are in that particular situation, you need to get more information to make sure that you're able to read that person correctly. The woman that I am now, what I know and how I read a person, I would cut them off. Absolutely. As soon as they said something about being a nice person, a nice guy, a nice woman, I don't like the word nice, because I know that you're just trying to You want me to see you a specific way, and you want me to hold on to you being a nice person instead of actually looking at what you do. What are you doing? So for me, the woman I am now, I would cut them off for being a nice guy or seeing that they are a nice guy or a nice person. Anything with the word nice, I would cut them off. But for you, yeah, I can see your profile. You look to be very young. You're very beautiful. I would take my time to make sure you're reading it right, the situation correctly. Okay? Read the situation correctly before you start cutting people off. Are you putting this on YouTube? Any content on Instagram? Y'all know it's going on YouTube because I don't post any of my own videos on Instagram. But his wife said, I've noticed that most men who are decent operate on actions, not talk. Absolutely. I wouldn't even trust a man who is constantly running his lips and his jaws, talking about all the wonderful aspects and the wonderful things he does, but I don't see no action behind you. I don't see anything happening. I don't see anything that you're doing. Like, I'm looking for actions. I'm looking for doing. I am looking for things to be happening for me, around me. That is what I'm looking for. If I don't see that, it's a red flag for me. Thank you, Brill, for putting it on YouTube. You're welcome, Pedestal Wife. Like the video? Yes, like the video. LOL, that sounds like me. I mean, absolutely. What I've learned about people, I cut you off when you start describing yourself as nice. Because honestly, I've done my research. I know what common descriptors that people use, and usually it's fake. It is mean because they haven't taken the time to really understand or become an expert of themselves. So they don't know what to describe themselves as in the first place. So they're saying things to make you like them. And I can't get down with that. I can't get down with that. I don't like that people say stuff to make you like them. I don't care if you don't like me. Like, if I'm not your cup of tea, baby, just do you. Do you. I understand. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get offended either. That's true. I've heard too many stories of ride or die. Anytime I've been around a woman that has, reaped the results of being a ride or die, she gets to a point where she's advising every woman that she can come in contact, don't ever be a ride or die. Like, I've learned my lesson. Literally, there's women in jail who are ride or dies. These women have died from being ride or dies. These women are, from the grave, wishing they can whisper to you from heaven or hell, wherever they are, saying that they don't want you to be a ride or die. And here you go, not taking the advice. We can't do ride or die. We can't do it anymore. It's not working out well for women. Don't do it. Yes, Granny Preach. Yes, I miss that woman. She would love what I'm doing right now. She would support and share every video and probably want to come up here and have a conversation herself because she was just that real. She was one of those women who taught me to be real about my mistakes, face them, and still never forget who I am and still realize that it's never too late to get what you want. Love is not an attachment. And I hate the fact that the way young women are taught that in order to give love or prove love, that you have to do and jump through so many hoops. And that is not love. Do y'all know love is freely given? Freely given without any expectation. That is what love is. Love is given where if you ask for something and he gives it, but he expects something back, that ain't love. Love is given if you say no to sex, he understands. Love is given freely and without expectation, without strings attached. That is what love is. I understand and I realize that some people haven't experienced love, so they don't know what it is. And you can be deceived and duped by people online or in social media telling you what love is. And when you can absolutely look at the things that they put out and post online, they ain't never experienced someone loving them. Like, there's too many hurt people giving advice about love or how to obtain it when they've never experienced it. Like, baby, you have to experience it to even have a real conversation about it. Y'all, I'm sorry. Ooh. I'm always going to have people trying to get in contact with me. I probably need to put that thing up there, but I don't want to. I'm on a roll. I don't want to stop it because once I'm stopping, I'm getting off. I'm going to lunch. This pedestal, I said, this is tugging on my emotional strings in a good way. I'm hoping it is because I want to reach women. I want women to realize that a lot of the conversations that y'all are part of, they're low vibrational. A lot of the conversations that you're having, they're with nice guys who will claim or say they're nice guys, but they're really not. They're really predators. If you saw that video I did yesterday on predators, a lot of times if you get around a guy who says he's a nice guy or proclaims to be a nice guy or says he's a nice guy and he exudes predator energy, he exudes predator signs that I gave you, run away like you're behind or you have gasoline draws on. Run away like you're training for a marathon. Run away like someone is chasing you. Run away like Michael Myers is behind you and Jason and Freddy is in the wing. Run, sis, run. We have to actually start realizing that a lot of people who are giving information, they're still in their trauma phase. They have never experienced the love they're trying to advise you to get. Like, tell me how that works. How are you going to tell me how to obtain the type of relationship that I desire when you've never experienced it? You know what a really healthy relationship is? Acceptance. That is what it is. They're going to accept you at your worst. They're going to accept you at your best. They're going to accept you when you have bad head. They're going to accept you when you got makeup on. They're going to accept you when you're pushing out a baby that are 9 pounds and you ain't at your best. They're going to accept you when you are throwing up, when you got the flu. Acceptance is love. They're going to accept who you are and they're not going to try to change you. Those things, even if they aggravate them, they're going to accept them. They're going to accept if you're a spoiled princess. They're going to accept if you feel like you're entitled. They're going to accept and if you feel like you're deserving. They're going to accept if you've never heard no a day in your life, baby. They're going to accept it. Love is not attachment. It's connection and acceptance. All right, so let me see. Let me get this question up here. Oh, I think it deleted the question. No, it didn't. I don't want to delete it. Okay. In my placeholder, if my man doesn't talk about vacations together, he's currently, where's the rest of that question? I talked about yesterday a placeholder predator. Because there are men out here who literally just waste time. They're time wasters. They're very vague about moving a relationship forward. Matter of fact, they're happier with the relationship as it is. They like where they are in the relationship. They don't want to have conversations about moving it forward. They want to have conversations about getting married. And you'll realize that there's something called placeholder predator. And that sounds like what you may be dealing with, but I need the rest of that question. Because I like details. I like details, y'all. I like to have details about the situation that y'all have going on so I can give my, appropriate responses. If I don't have a half, I'm going to give you, what I'm thinking in the moment. But I need the rest of it. But it sounds like you may be, because if he sees a future with you, why wouldn't he take you on a vacation? Like, I'm trying to see why he wouldn't want to see that happiness in you and see you smile. Why would he want to take you on a vacation? That may be placeholder predator. Placeholder predator. He may be just wasting your time. He may be just keeping you in place while he is still dating and still searching for his wife. And you all have to be aware there are men like that. They don't mind spending time with you. They don't mind wasting your time. They don't mind wasting your years, your good years. Yes. They are good years. They are bad years, but they're your years. Years are something that you can't get back. You can't get time back. So I don't care if I am 30 years old. I don't want my time wasted. I don't care if I'm 35. I don't want my time wasted. To me, all years are years that you need to be concerned about because you're not going to get it back. I can't go back to when I was 20, no stomach, and in shape. I can't go back to that. Well, I could, but I'm never gonna get back to exactly how I was at 20, as far as my physical shape, unless I do the surgery route. And I'm not about that life. I'd rather just do it over time, take my time, and do what I'm gonna do. But I have to actually get more to that. But let me go ahead and do my quick announcement so I can go to lunch. First of all, let me do my announcement. I do have 3 different platforms. I have YouTube, I have Instagram, and now I do have TikTok. YouTube will be my own content. Okay. YouTube is where my own content would be. When I do a live stream, that's where my content will be. It will be on YouTube. Instagram normally is other people's content. Usually I talk about that content and give you my opinion on the content that is sent to me, because sometimes some pedestal wives, they will send me content from TikTok or other places, and I'll talk about it on Instagram. Well, not talk about, I'll write about it on Instagram, because I don't do a live stream specific to that content. On TikTok, that is where I'm going to do reactionary videos. I'm going to do reaction videos on TikTok and Q&As. So that is where, if you want me to answer a specific question, I'm going to do it on TikTok. But I will do is I will protect your privacy, which means I will not put your username or your profile up there. I'm going to have it fully protected, but you're going to have to actually be very detailed in your question so that I can give you information that I would give to my own clients, which I am closing out the year. I know someone asked me, am I taking on any more clients? Not at this time. I already have too many, and I'm trying to reorganize my coaching business. I want to make sure that I'm giving my all to the women that I am currently coaching. So I don't want to take on any more. I don't want to take on any more. And then I have to have fun. I absolutely have to have fun. I have to be able to go out. I have to be able to go out to dinner. I have to go out to lunch, go get some drinks, have fun with my friends. I have to be able to do those things. And I don't believe in the life of working. I don't work. And I don't plan on doing it anytime soon, not even for my own business. Okay. So since I'm going to do it in that way, I'm not taking on too many people. So that is the answer to the question of people asking me, do I coach? I do, but I'm not taking on any more clients because I have to have time to just BS. Okay. I have to have time to BS. I have to have time to go out to lunch. I have to go have time to go out to sushi. I have to go have time to go on random trips. So I have to go through in the month, which means I'm going to go on a random trip soon because I have to have breaks. I have to spend time with myself and have fun. So, because life is about having fun. You're only going to have, before you know, it's over with. Before you know, it's over with. And I plan to enjoy every minute. I plan to live my life with no regrets. So I'm going to go out for sushi. I'm going to go out to drinks. I'm going to go out with my friends. I'm going to go out of town and have fun. And I'm going to live my life. And I suggest you do the same. Stop sitting in your house. I think some man going to come and kidnap you. Go out there and have fun. Go out there and have fun. Go out for drinks. Go out with your friends. Go on random trips. Because that's what I do sometimes. Sometimes when I'm going for social media, I'm not doing any live streams. Baby, I done went on a random trip with somebody. Okay? My husband's at work and Braille is what? Bye-bye. Because that's the life I live. I'm about that life. And I suggest you live your life the way you want to live it. Have fun. No regrets. Don't get to the last day of your life getting that last cup of water and dream about going to Mexico. Go to Mexico. Okay? Dream about going to Puerto Rico. Baby, go to Puerto Rico. Dream about quitting that job and starting over, or just quitting that job and living your best life. Do it. Do it. You don't know how soon it could be over. You don't know what day. You don't know what time. You don't know what second your life will be over with. So live it to the best of it. Live it with no regrets. Don't have any shame in your game, baby. If you want to go on random vacations, go on random vacations. You want to quit that job? Quit that job. Stop having it as an albatross around your neck, feeling like you can't do something else. Baby, find a new one or find somebody to pay for your lifestyle. Okay? Oh, thank you. You're welcome. I lost a lot of money being a ride or die. Sis shaking my head. Yes, ma'am. We ain't doing no ride or dies over here. No ride or dies. The ride or dies died. And they call it. They whispering. They letting you know through me telling you that they wish they never did it. We ain't no ride or dies over here. Is it wrong to block men as soon as you see the signs or give them a chance and let their actions expose themselves? Baby, you don't get time back. Block them. Block them. If you see red flags, immediately block them. Honestly, you don't even have to see red flags. Because what I want to do, I want to make every woman on this live stream. Okay, I'm going to get ready to go. I want to make every woman on this live stream. I want predators to fear you. I want prey to fear you. I want people to run and hide when you come around, because they know that you cannot be manipulated. You can't be sidetracked, that you're going to get the things that you desire out of your life. That is what I want for you. I don't want you to constantly worry about, does this person have red flags attached to them? I don't want you to constantly worry about, is this person a manipulator? I don't want you to have to worry about, is this person a user? I want all of those above to flee from you. When you come into the room, when they are around you, I want predators to flee from you. I want users to flee from you. I want control addicts to flee from you, because they already recognize someone they can't control, they can't use, they can't manipulate, they can't prey on. That is what I do this for, because I want those type of people to flee from you. I want those type of people to decide and look at you and realize how you operate and how you move in your life, that they can't do anything to you. You're untouchable, babe. You're on that pedestal. You're a pedestal wife. You're a pedestal wife. How soon should a man start spoiling a woman he claims to love? Immediately. Immediately. Absolutely. Immediately. From the start. That is how soon. You have to recharge. Absolutely. And that's the very reason why I do random trips. I do what I need to do and have fun. Because even if I'm called to actually do this work, doesn't mean I'm going to deplete myself and have no energy for the people in my life that I care about and I love. Not honestly, when it comes down to it, I love me. I am the focus. I am the assignment. I am self-obsessed with Braille, which means I have to make sure I take care of me. Get in the ring so my husband can pay for my lifestyle. Absolutely. You love when you go on vacation. He not. I go on trips all the time. When I go on vacation, doesn't necessarily mean he's going. It just means he's paying. There's a big difference. And I think I'm pretty good compared to my other in-laws. Like my brothers are providers too. And since they are providers, they send their wives, I think, multiple trips a year. Like I haven't even caught up to their level of going on trips, because I be trying to be here and try to give information. And I know, let me tell you this, when I go on vacation, I'm not the woman who's going to constantly be, oh, I'm here. See me here. I'm enjoying myself. This means I don't have a camera out. I don't have a phone out. I'm relaxing. I'm not videoing because I want everybody to see me doing it. I don't do that. Just be enjoying life. I suggest you do the same. You only get one. As far as I know right now, you don't get but one life. And I suggest you enjoy it. All right, so that's all I have for